Hello and welcome to this webinar. Today we talk about the blockchain, the new revolutionary internet. In this webinar we explain to you the basics. Furthermore, we will explain to you how the blockchain works. And yes, it's a simple and easy to follow introduction for beginners on the blockchain technology. Today's agenda contains the following points. First, after an introduction, we explain what is blockchain. Then we talk about the advantages of the blockchain technology. How does blockchain work? What can we do with it? And at the end, we answer your questions. So, this webinar is part of the IMI Academy, the educational arm of the IMI blockchain. An independent leader in blockchain education based in the crypto valley of Zug in Switzerland. Our company offers blockchain consulting, coding of blocks, and blockchain education as we do today in this webinar. So please visit our website for more information on imiblockchain.com. Allow me to introduce myself first. My name is Marcel and I'm the founder and CEO of IMI Blockchain. I am an economist and studied blockchain technology as well. Since 2009, I became a blockchain enthusiast and founded IMI in 2019. First, let's clarify what this webinar is not about. It's not a technical guide, nor is it filled with technical details. We keep it simple to explain the principles of this technology. And no, it's also not a primer, but we do offer more detailed courses. On our website, simply navigate to Learn Blockchain and click Online Courses. There you will find in-depth diploma courses to become a certified blockchain user, developer, or even a programmer. Now let's come back to our topic of today's webinar. What is blockchain? Simply explained, it's a network, a peer-to-peer network, to exchange assets. Blockchain is a distributed ledger. This ledger usually contains data or any kind of asset you like to distribute over the internet. Your ledger is spread over the internet through nodes. Nodes are other computers on the same network. Each node receives a full copy of your ledger. This enables an automated proof of data accuracy. If you would change your ledger afterwards, everyone will see it. We call it the modern way of fraud protection, as you are not allowed to change your ledger. Finally, we have miners in our process. A miner is nothing else than a powerful combination of hard and software. Miners do the math and they verify each and every transaction. Miners get rewarded for verifying your transaction. To understand how blockchain works, we have to go back in history. Let's have a look at the thing we call Internet. Some of you may have not realized how fast the technology behind the internet has changed, but that's where the magic starts. Do you remember the days when we had to dial up for connection? Yes, right. Before 2005, we had to operate through closed and centralized networks. To get on the internet, we had to call a service. Then the service provider directed us to a centralized network. In these bad old days, we had email only to share information. Computing and storage was very expensive. Only very rich companies were able to invest into this technology. From 2006 till today, we had to use cloud networks. Computing and data storage became affordable. Cloud services such as Google, Amazon or Facebook became very popular. All these companies let us believe that it's a good idea to store and send data over the centralized cloud applications. But I guess you all have heard about Edward Snowden or the Facebook Cambridge Analytica scandal. In fact, no cloud service will ever grant you privacy. Spying your information and sharing your data became the big business. Most of us internet users, especially enterprises, began to realize how important it is to keep full privacy and our assets protected. Actually, the days after 2006 became the paradise season for hackers, scammers, and spies because of cloud applications only. Since we know about blockchain, the use of the internet became very different. The revolution started in 2008 with the Bitcoin blockchain. Decentralized asset distribution became possible, and now we have a tool where we can take back the responsibility without the need of an intermediary. By using this technology, we regain full privacy and made the internet much safer. Furthermore, this technology is cutting down IT costs, and it's also much faster. But what is the big deal? Why is the blockchain a real revolution? The most important is that we no longer need any intermediaries. No need for Google, Amazon, or any other cloud. Since we know the Bitcoin blockchain, we don't even need a bank any longer. We can exchange digital money peer-to-peer. With the launch of Ethereum in 2015, we don't need lawyers or notaries anymore. We can even exchange so-called smart contracts. A contract which executes automatically through a consensus over the blockchain. To use the blockchain technology, all you need is a computer, a dedicated database, and an internet connection. It's simple as that. The blockchain offers many advantages, not only for enterprise applications, but for each individual as well. We already talked about privacy. The exchange of information is also transparent. Every single transaction is recorded and stored in different databases all over the network. As we use open source software, we can save a lot of money. All processes are fully automated. Proof of work and consensus is granted automatically. Transactions are super fast, from seconds to 10 minutes for a Bitcoin transaction, for example. The process is 100% reliable. Last but not least, the blockchain is much safer than any cloud-based application. The reason is simple. Clouds are very attractive for hackers. A cloud is a single point of attack, while the blockchain is usually decentralized. A hacker would need to attack all nodes at once, which is almost impossible. The good news from the blockchain technology, it's absolutely open source. Therefore, very cost saving. First introduced in 2008 by Satoshi Nakamoto, which is a nickname and nobody knows who is behind this name. The very first application of blockchain technology was the Bitcoin in 2009. Today, the Bitcoin is the giant of all cryptocurrencies. A revolutionary digital currency. We will soon cover the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies in future webinars. So please stay tuned. Let's come back to the blockchain technology. A big move forward was in 2015. Vitalik Buterin launched Ethereum. This platform introduced the first fully automated smart contract process. Don't worry, we will cover the smart contract topic in our next webinars as well. So, since Ethereum in 2015, everybody realized the real power of this technology and not just the financial industry. Now, let's explain how the blockchain works. Actually, it's very simple. Let's look at the practical example. So, meet my friend John. John would like to send an asset to his best friend. So, John is the sender in our example. And here comes Peter, John's best friend. Peter is the receiver. First of all, as John wants to send assets over the blockchain, he needs to create a block. The block is stored in one or more databases. By adding a crypto hash, a piece of code, to this block, the transaction can be sent through the blockchain. The blockchain itself is actually nothing else than a network of what we call nodes, or the computer users on our network. Within the blockchain, we also have miners. Miners do the math of John's crypto hash. For that, the safest and fastest miner will solve the math and he gets rewarded. So now the block gets validated and Peter receives the asset from John. Simple as that. So why is blockchain a revolution? The real revolution behind the blockchain technology is manifold. First of all, it's about our privacy and becoming independent. For a transaction, we don't need a cloud provider, nor a bank, nor a notary, nor a lawyer. Block transactions are transparent and fully backed up. Initial assets sent out cannot be changed. The big thing behind all this is the fully automated process. And yes, actually, it's simple, very cost effective, reliable, damn fast, and much safer than any other internet technology. Over the blockchain, you can send or share any type of asset. It could be money in the way of digital currency such as bitcoins. By using Ethereum, for example, you can send out a smart contract. And even easier is sending out or sharing any type of data or information that you like. This could be data that is needed to track or trace, or documents no one wants to be changed or interrupted. Think about diplomas from schools or universities. Blockchain is also the technology behind e-voting, as digital signatures and documents are sent out irreversibly and cannot be revoked. Now let's have a look on how a code within a blockchain looks like. A block needs some simple coding to be distributed and validated across P2P networks. It's called crypto hashing. We always start with block 0. Its index would be 0 as well. The timestamp will be added automatically for security reason. The block includes data to be submitted. This can be any kind of asset. And then we have the hash, the crypto code. In this example, starting with OXEA and ending with 99. As there is no previous hash, the value is set to 0. Actually, this is it. We have created our main block. But wait a minute, we call the thing blockchain. And there it is. We can create a chain of blocks to send out tons of data if needed. So let's connect block 0 with another block called 1. The index of block 1 will be set to 1. Again, a timestamp is created and we add more data to block 1. A new hash is coded in this example OX6F1 and ending with DAB. Now important, we connect the hash of block 1 with our initial block 0. Therefore, we use its previous hash, which was 0xEA3 ending with 99, remember? And here's the magic done. We've connected two blocks to a blockchain. We can continue this process to add more and more blocks. The connection will be the same as we can see in block 2. We create a new hash, connect block 2 with block 1 by adding its previous hash, which was 0x6f, and ending with DAB. Actually very simple, isn't it? So, as a summary of what we learned, we can say the blockchain is really an exciting technology. Any kind of asset can be exchanged and no third party is needed for that. No service provider, no bank, no notary. This is already a big cost and time reduction. Big Brother cannot watch us any longer. Privacy can be guaranteed. Hackers have no single point of attack anymore, which increases security dramatically. Open databases and the timestamp enable traceability, which is not only good for track and trace applications. And as we have seen, the process and the hash coding is actually pretty simple too. Now you know why we call the blockchain the new way of doing internet and why it is so revolutionary. So if you have questions, then please raise them now. Okay, the first question we received is whether the blockchain is always decentralized or not. The answer is no, but of course, decentralization is one of the key factors. If you like to set up a new ecosystem, the advantages are manifold, as we've already learned today. But the blockchain is not limited at all. So the answer to Paul's question is no. Actually, we have 4 ways in which we can set up blockchain environments. Next to decentralized, we can also set up a centralized blockchain. Kind of a cloud-based environment where security could be a big issue again. That's why a real strong blockchain application would be built on a decentralized network. When it comes to distributed ledgers and smart contracts, then the approach is similar to the decentralized one. The main difference is that we can set up public or private ledgers, or again, a combination of all of these, as we wish or need. The basic difference between a public and a private ledger is about permission. While a public blockchain network is permissionless, meaning anyone can join the network. Take the Bitcoin or Ethereum as an example. A private permission ledger lets only selected participants join the network. Here we could mention Hyperledger Fabric or R3S Corda as an example. Finally, it's important to note that permission does not mean private. Some public distributed ledgers, such as Stellar or Sovereign, are public, permissioned networks. The next question that we received is about blockchain mining. What exactly is blockchain mining? A miner is actually nothing else than a powerful piece of hardware. Miners do the math, as we already said. They solve the mathematical request when we send our crypto hash from our block over the network. A miner validates and approves each transaction. For this, the first miner who solves the math gets rewarded. The more the blockchain community grows, the higher the technical requirements become for miners. A few years ago, everyone was able to set up a piece of hardware like the one we're showing in this picture. But today, mining looks more like this. Professionals build so-called mining farms to be faster than any other miner in the network. That's how they make money. Next question is about the latest trends that we see. Thanks for asking this one. So, some big players try to get a piece of the blockchain cake by offering managed services. Whether this will work or not, the blockchain community claims that there is no need for such a service as the technology already exists and absolutely separated from any government or large corporations. As we already mentioned earlier, it's all about privacy and independence. So there is a big question mark behind this approach. Some offerings coming from IBM or Amazon. We'll see in the future if they can be successful with that or not. The second big trend is DeFi, decentralized finance. One of the examples is called Nuo. Simply explained, it's a non-custodial way to lend and borrow money using cryptocurrency. To lend or borrow money in today's world, you don't need an intermediary anymore. No bank, no insurance, no exchange company. On a DeFi network, you connect directly with peers through a protocol. Cool, no? Then, the third trend that we see is definitely the high demand on so-called stablecoins. A cryptocurrency with a stable value and usually connected to the US dollar. Then we have many interconnection projects ongoing. Cosmos is only one to mention. It's a project to build ecosystems of blockchains. As there is no limit when it comes to blockchain technology, single blockchain networks can be connected, for example to scale up or for security reasons. Last but not least, a continuing trend is IoT, of course, the Internet of Things, where the blockchain is the only technology allowing any kind of device to communicate with others in a secure and reliable way. This question is very interesting. Why is blockchain not yet mainstream? That's a very good one. Thanks, Camilla, for asking this one. Actually, there are no boundaries nor limitations when it comes to blockchain technology. The only hitch in this way of doing business is the transparency. Let's be straight and honest. How many businesses wish to communicate 100% transparent? Almost none, I would say. Do banks, insurance companies, lawyers, notaries want to lose their business model? Does Google, Amazon or Facebook like to lose their customer insights? Or what about track and trace? Blockchain is the technology to create fully transparent supply chains. But there is where the problem starts. Blockchain connects two or more independent parties. To communicate over the blockchain, these two parties would have to disclose all processes and make them transparent. But many companies are not interested at all in doing that. So far, Walmart is driving the only real ongoing project. They used their market power and forced their suppliers to drop their pants and finally become transparent, from manufacturing to distribution. Finally, and to close our today's webinar, we'd like to give you an outlook of our next live webinar in June. The topic will be the Bitcoin, the giant of all cryptocurrencies, the real deal in digital currency. In the next webinar, we will explain to you how Bitcoin works. It will be a basic seminar as the one you just followed right now. So, please stay tuned. Register today to find out more about the Bitcoin. The registration link can be found on our website at imiblockchain.com. Go to Learn Blockchain and click on Webinars. So, thanks for watching and looking forward to seeing you soon again. Bye guys!